Is this a revolution in Deathrock? Let's review it and find out. Welcome to By Candlelight, beaming goth, darkwave and post-punk straight into your brain. The grey matter will thank you. So, Shadow of the Midnight Sun is the latest album from Georgia-based band Tears for the Dying. It was released on February the 16th, 2024. Part of it was mixed by Tom from the March Violets, and the other bit was mixed by Jason from Pylon Reenactment Society. This is their second album, and I loved their previous 2021 album, Epitaph. I'd say they sit most comfortably in Deathrock, if you want to get an idea of what to expect. But do they push Deathrock to its extremes with this new album? Well, opening track, We Are the Darkness, certainly starts the album with some thrillingly authentic Deathrock. But Dagger in God's Back is a lot more post-punk, with its rushing drums and flanged guitar. It begins with the yelped line, "Eating the head of God." Okay, but the line, "Death is not the same here," is so catchily delivered that when the song abruptly ends at 1:51, you just wanted more of it. Jisatsu brings it all the way back round to Deathrock once more though. Now if you look on their Bandcamp page, this track has a trigger warning by it, along with some signposting on where someone can get some help if they're affected by the lyrical content. I wish more bands would do this. It's such a fantastic idea, and it's just embracing mental health and well-being. Moving on, Heterochromia begins with an arpeggio for a good minute before bringing in a spoken voice. Although this has Deathrock flourishes, it sits more comfortably in goth and darkwave. The lyrics are loaded with existential horror and dread, such as the line, "Slithering from beneath black waters, the rotting carcass splits and sprouts." Ugh. Bloat is another track that features a trigger warning, and it's quite schizophrenic with all of its tempo changes. I would imagine that some of these lyrics would really strike a chord with some people. So having that responsible signposting there is so good to see. Iki Nakota contains almost metal elements in the guitar. So again, we're moving away from traditional death rock in terms of this sound. Sung in Japanese, it almost suggests an antidote to the previous track, with the lines, "The sky is blue, I feel happy. The sea is calm, the pain has stopped." Dead Girl Dancing is about using dance to deal with depression. Starting with an 80s sounding synth pad, this has more of an electronic feel. However, the style of the guitars still ensure that this sits quite comfortably on this album. And actually, this track skips along quite nicely. Kaiju is about the band's love of anime. Beginning with a horn that sounds like a call out to ancient clans, you're not really sure where this one's gonna go. Then the guitars kick in to make this one of the catchiest songs on the album. When it gets going, this is almost anthemic, and you can imagine hollering the chorus out at their gigs. Higginbanner is almost New Order-esque in its approach, with its mix of electronics and guitar. As far away from death rock as this is, I absolutely love this track. It has a coolness to it, with a nonchalant voice, particularly the spoken bit at about 3.5 minutes in. The album ends with a cover of Dolly Parton's Jolene, which I understand is very poignant for one of the band members. A wonderful version that manages to meld traditional guitar with more dark wave and electronic elements. The hushed voice is perfect, and this is easily one of the best versions of this track I've heard. Overall, this album is a journey. It's loaded with emotion, some of it very intense, but I love the well-being signposting that they've got on their Bandcamp page. That's a really thoughtful touch. Not only do you get this range of emotion, but the music itself is varied, and each track sounds extremely different from the last. You get traditional death rock and post-punk, all the way through to electronic and darkwave. Does this album revolutionise death rock? I think it definitely manages to push the boundaries of death rock into other subgenres whilst retaining the band's identity. None of the tracks, particularly the synth-led ones, jar in any way. This is impressive. For me, it doesn't quite eclipse Epitaph. I love that album and I've played it to absolute death. In the Shadow of a Midnight Sun is still a great album with its bold and fearless subject matter combined with its eclectic musical stylings. This gets a solid 7 out of 10. I'll leave links to their Bandcamp page. Let me know your thoughts in the usual place. Until next time, see you later.